Yeah. Tell them check out the blog, bro. YouTube channel called MKO. It's pugilism, boxing algorithm. M stand for Marvin and Kevin's initials KO. Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, talking all things boxing as per usual. Right about now, just a quick one for you. I've been watching a few things on Shannon Briggs, Mr. Let's Go Champ, Mr. Stamp That logo, you know what I mean? Let's Go Champ. Look at him, let's go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said yeah. We could go right now, champ. Yeah, that dude, Mr. Shannon Briggs. He's been out there. I've been reading a few articles about Mr. Shannon, and yeah, he recently said this in an interview himself. Few interviews actually. One was an IFL interview. I think the other one was like on Fight Hype or something of that nature. One of the American YouTube channels, one of the sort of larger ones, larger platforms. And he said that he's officially signed a contract of sorts with BKFC, which I believe is the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. I hope I've got that name right. If I've got it wrong, forgive me, guys. But yeah, this is a basically a company where they do bare knuckle boxing. Is basically boxing rules from what I've observed. I've watched a few of their fights. Very brutal stuff, very tough stuff, because obviously it is boxing, but again it's the old school. I think it's boxing as it was when it first started in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, where I don't think there were even gloves. You know, you would just fight with your bare fists and just, you know, you just have it out with somebody. There were skills to it, of course, but yeah, it's basically boxing as it was in the very beginning, without the gloves. And I think they go by the the proper, you know, antique boxing rules, as far as I know, at least, you know. So it's people will relate it to kind of a street fight because there's no gloves, but it's boxing rules. There's no kicking, no elbowing and stuff like that. It is a boxing match, but it's a boxing match with no gloves. So it's a sport where you do see what a lot of fans want to see. It's very brutal. I think you're almost guaranteed to get cuts and scratches and scrapes, because, you know, listen, you're hitting someone with your bare fist, they're hitting you with your bare fist, with their bare fist. So it's gonna be drama. It's gonna be exciting. And Briggs has recently been saying, yeah, I like it nasty, man. I like it nasty. And he's, you know, Briggs is really excited about it. And I think it will be an interesting venture for him. I reckon he'll definitely win a few fights on there. He might. I think he's got the potential whereby he might actually do very well, you know, depending. I think he's, with his sort of boxing skills and his size and his punching power, which I reckon he'll still have, or he might be 48 years old or whatever, but, you know, he'll still have his punching power. That's one thing you never lose. You can just ask George Foreman that. He come back in his 40s and was banging guys out, dealing with guys properly, you know, at over 40 years old. So Shannon the Cannon, he's 48, but you look at him, he was taking his top off in the thing, showing his biceps, and, you know, the guy's definitely in shape. And I think with this bare knuckle thing, they don't do the long rounds that you get in boxing, the like 3-minute rounds. I think I don't know if they're 2 minutes, but from what I recall, I think these, because it is bare knuckle, the round length is shorter, and the fights themselves are definitely shorter. So it's gonna be at least that much is a bit better for him. It's gonna be a new experience for Briggs, and for me, I think he's got the skills, and he's definitely got the punching power to do damage. But also, you know, obviously he's an older fighter now, so as tough as he is, there's still going to be a vulnerability there and a possibility that he could get hurt at some point. But I think if it's a 1, 2, 3 fight deal and he's gone, then I think he'll be absolutely fine. He'll probably win them all, unless there's someone in this BKFC that's actually very, very good at boxing. I think unless there's a fighter on there who's really something special, I think any average Joe or, you know, sort of above average guy, Shannon Briggs is going to deal with rather handily. He might get a bit of trouble, he might get a few cuts here and there, but I reckon Briggs will deal with it. But I would advise him to not do it as a long-term thing, you know, especially if he's fighting guys that are of a sort of high level. You know, if it's just a short-term thing, few fights and he's gone, then that's where I think he can benefit from it and not get hurt at all, as long as he plays his cards right. But anyway, it'll be interesting. We'll see what Let's Go Champ does in the BKFC. So until the next vid, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Remember to like, remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.